There we go. All right. Can you guys hear me now? What's going on, guys? Welcome in, everybody. New mic. May have some technical issues, but let me know how it sounds now. Perfect. Was troubleshooting some things. Rise the moment, definitely. Hopefully this solves some of the issues I've been having with the other microphone. It's a bit fatter than my other one, but my voice should come in much louder and cleaner for you guys. At least I hope so. And I hooked up some stuff in the background. Greetings. Like little bug sandwich voices.
Like this one. How do you guys like that? How do you like that?
So we got some good stuff for you guys. Anyways, no soundboards just yet, but Bugman is back. I should do a stream in that voice. I should, huh? That would be funny, actually. Probably should try that. So, yeah. Anyways, on the docket today, men, women, dating, standards of society. And we'll close it out with what the topic is mainly about today. I mean, we'll get into the dating stuff, but the main topic is actually, if you guys haven't heard, in Nigeria, 7,000+ Christians have been murdered by Boko Haram and, all these other Islamist extremists. So I wanted to just touch up on that today because there's a lot of hypocrisy from the left. And I got my fair share to say about that stuff. The so-called inclusive and all the BLMs. Where are they? Nowhere. So it's like a genocide happening over there and not a single peep from leftist media. I don't know if I've seen, maybe I saw conservative media mention it, but from the Christian angle only. But the left completely silence, They will not mention it. No one talks about it. BLM, pro-blacks, nobody's talking about it. Because it doesn't fit the narrative. Christians are at the bottom of the totem pole. If you're black, you get points for victimhood. But if you're black and you're Christian, you're back at the bottom, bro. Nobody cares about you. And that's unfortunately the brutal truth, which is why they're being massacred en masse without a single peep. No marches, zero, but, no kings. Sure thing, bro. So we'll get into that one later. I got a lot to say about that one, actually, but I got to contain myself. First, I guess we'll talk about dating, dude, and something that's affecting quite a lot of guys directly. And it's men's experience with dating specifically and why it's actually way worse than most people realize, to be honest. So we know that modern women completely destroyed dating for essentially the average man, and the economy basically just gave them the tools to be even more insufferable about it. And if you don't even know about that part, it's because they've gotten educated, which is not bad at all. But we've also had major issues when it comes to, what could you say? Equality in pay, DEI and getting hired, the type of jobs that got shipped overseas, manufacturing, stuff that men used to predominantly do, basically don't exist anymore. So yeah, the society that we have today has gotten retooled and essentially, for the benefit of women, if we're being honest. So we ended up with the lopsiding dating market. It is harder now than it's ever been. And unless you're in the top percent of money and looks as well or status, you're pretty much invisible to women. And I mean literally you're invisible. They don't even acknowledge that you exist. These are called the invisibles. Okay? And most women, they're all chasing the same tiny pool of available men. The quote, I guess you call them the high value man. You call them that, right? And they're at 30 years old, or this is about the time. It's called the wall, where they're all wondering where all the good men went after they spent their entire 20s getting railed by guys who'd never commit to them in the first place. So when you're actually looking at the data, here's what you're seeing. You got men in their 20s and in their 30s, and they got solid jobs, right? These guys are not losers. They got college education, degrees, or skilled trades. They're making well over $50,000. Let's just say a band of like 50 to 80K. That's not even bad. That used to be respectable. But they're getting rejected constantly because women have this mental benchmark of 6 fucking figures minimum from social media. And it's not even about security anymore. It's about the fucking Instagram lifestyle that they think they deserve because they watch too many luxury influencers. And then they convince themselves that they're 10s when they're actually 6s at best. Okay? There was this therapist dude, I was reading about him. He's like Vincent something. He was practicing for 7 years. He talks about how his male clients are falling into these depressive spirals because they've internalized the message that love equals money. And this is where we're headed in the West, guys. They're sitting there thinking, all these men, that I don't have money. Where am I ever going to find a girlfriend? And it crushes them, dude, to the point where they stop approaching women entirely because rejection from the delusional harpies is just too painful. Are you fucking kidding me? Like this is where we've gotten, right? These guys aren't even bad guys. They're not lazy shitheads, right? Sitting on couches. These are men working, dude. They're just trying to build careers, trying to build a life, doing everything right, essentially. But wages have been stagnant for decades now. I think like a better part of 20 years. And cost of living has exploded since then. Hell, in the last 5 years, it's exploded. So making 60 to 70,000 doesn't go far like it used to. Yes, if this was 1995, 60 to 70K would have been an amazing amount of money. Great. And women's expectations, they haven't adjusted to this reality. They've gone up because social media shows them that the top 5% of men, and constantly, by the way, that their fucking monkey brains can't differentiate between what's normal and what's absolutely fantasy. So they swipe left, essentially, on dating apps. Can you imagine? On 95% of men, while complaining there's no good men left. Because who are they following? Literally the top 5%, all jacked, all chattish, all like Sir Pennyworth, the most baller of the cream of the crop men. And they only see those guys that interact with those guys, and they think this is normal. And this is when you hear shit like there's no good men left. They constantly say that. We are in hypergamy on steroids. That's what we're dealing with today. That's what most men are dealing with today. Because women are wired to seek men of higher status. That's evolutionary psychology. We can't deny that. But in the past, there were social structures that we had that balanced this kind of need out. So we had family involvement, we had community pressure, we had cultural norms, right? And our norms used to say that you can't just chase the highest bidder forever. And at some point, you have to pick somebody and build a life with them. And feminism destroyed all of that. They told women that they could have it all, that there are no consequences, that you could spend your 20s riding the cock carousel, right? Focus on your career. Don't worry about marriage or kids. You got plenty of time, sis. Strong boss, babe, right? Then they hit the 30 years wall. It just smacks them right in the face, dude. It's like 29, 30. Boom, your world's over. And suddenly they want to settle down. But guess what? The high value men that they're chasing now, they all have options. Those guys aren't committing to some fucking 30-year-old career bitch with a body count in double digits. And a baggage that's a decade of what? Failed relationships where she was just getting used. They're dating the 25-year-olds who are still hot and haven't been completely ruined by hookup culture. That's what it is. And these women are sitting there shocked, like absolutely shocked. The math doesn't work in their favor anymore. And ladies, we tried to warn you, but they never listen, do they? There's another dude, French OG or something like that. It runs like a dating AI tool. And you're sharing stories from a bunch of the dudes that are using the app and stuff. And you can see the data on the back end. Bro, you have guys that are like 6'3" in New York, like tech executives making well over $250,000 a year athletic builds. Like the dude is a chat, should be crushing it. He's running, like this guy was telling his story. He's running into women in their 30s, holding out for millionaires. Not six figures, bro. Millionaires. Women who wasted their 20s on their careers in bad boys, now they're aging out, but they still have the absurd standards. That's insane. They are completely priced out of the most very successful men that they're chasing. They don't get it, how much they're screwing themselves with their own standard. This whole dynamic is fucking backwards. Listen, and I get it too. Look, women are more financially independent than ever. And feminists told us that this would make them less demanding about men's income, but instead they use their own income as a baseline and then demand that men make even more on top. So women making 80K are saying that they need a man making 150K minimum because she won't date down. That's hypergamy. But dating down is exactly what most women need to do if they ever want to have a chance at a relationship, because their sexual market value is way lower than they think it is. A 30-year-old woman with a career is not some prize catch, dude. She's used goods and it's the truth. With an attitude problem on top, who's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. And men all over are figuring this shit out because the red pill is so out in the open now. Yes, used goods. That's going to absolutely piss every single woman off who hears that. But the entire point of dating for a man is catching something that is hard to catch. If half the block has caught you, got you to open your legs, you don't really have that much inherent value or worth because you don't value yourself. There's something in between your legs that people pay money for. Do you understand? And you're a fool to give that shit up for free. It's not the same. It's not a flex to go out in a bar and open your legs. It's not. It really isn't. Sorry. It took zero skill, zero effort, and the dude on the corner that's a bum with one eye missing and can hardly fucking speak will still smash. Just saying. Zero skill. So, anyways, I'm reading accounts from like men in their 30s, men in their 20s, dudes that have disposable income. And the fucking horror stories are lying. Dude, 90% of women he dated, this one guy that's like 35, he's fit, he's got everything going for him, viewed him as basically a walking wallet. Either that or entertainment. And they contributed nothing to this dude's growth, expected him to serve them, dumped him the second anything better comes along on Tinder. And guys are reporting the same shit. This is literally what modern women are to average dudes or even above average. To their eyes, we have to preface this with any guy not on that Instagram luxury lifestyle is literally average to them. It's almost like it's a parasite looking for a host. And they keep looking until they find that guy. But that guy has other parasites around him. He's just flicking them off his shoulder. He uses them, has his fun, flicks them off. That's really it. Because these women, it is a parasitic relationship in the sense of what can you possibly provide this guy that has everything? Are you the hottest woman on planet Earth? Do you treat him better than every other woman he's ever come across times 10? Do you offer him something that no other woman can possibly offer him? Because what women bring to the table is literally what's in between their legs. 99% of times, a woman defines herself by her front or her back door or the mouth and its magic tricks that she could do with it. When you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? Literally, that's what they, there's like a joke with, who was like one of the godfathers of the red pill? Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal had a joke about that. Ladies, he had a joke, and I can't remember how it went exactly about, what do you bring to the table if you couldn't have sex with your man? And then most of them were answering something like the back door or something like that. That's it. So, anyways, we'll have to talk about the economic pressure too, because that amplifies everything. And I wouldn't say feminism is the root cause of this, of course, but it surely had a huge impact by turning every household into a dual income. Or by causing so much pressure on wages now that we doubled the workforce. That's true, right? So feminism essentially told women that they don't need men. They're strong and independent. They can do everything men can do, right? But these women somehow, through all of this, still expect men to pay for dates. to make more money, to be taller, to be stronger, to be higher status. They want all the benefits of a traditional gender role when it suits them only, and then all the benefits of equality when that also suits them too. So you have to pick and choose. The ham beasts, you can't have both. Sorry. Okay? And dating is expensive today, especially in this economy, dude. The apps, they fucking make men, they're so gated, you have to pay for everything. The meals, the activities, and men are expected to pay for all of this shit while women just show up. Literally, just show up. They contribute nothing, or they'll ghost you after you've invested some time and some money, and then they'll move on to the next dude, literally hopping on dick for fucking free meals. And you can read about a whole bunch of men. Dude, there's this one guy I saw, I think it was a Reddit post, he deferred medical care to afford dates and then still got rejected. That's insane. That's insane. You got guys, and then they're lying all over social media about what they do, how much money. I mean, honestly, how down bad could you be that you have to forget lying, that you have to defer medical treatment? Bro, get your fucking shot for your diabetes, okay? Take your insulin, G. Trust me, the date is not worth it. Jesus Christ. And the risk have never been worth. Think of divorce. You're foregoing all your goddamn insulin so you can be number 6 meal date foodie call under her phone, who she can laugh at on a group chat, and you're over there having heart palpitations when you get home and you're sweating bullets and shit and you're having a sugar spike and an attack. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Think about it. Even if you're successful, you got to think about it like this. Divorce rape is real. Man, a ton of men, dude, are terrified because we've all seen our friends. I grew up seeing that shit in college. I was bartending and I saw all the dudes that were literally broken and would show up Saturday morning at open to drink themselves half to death. And all the stories that they told me. I saw friends get destroyed, losing the house, paying alimony, child support for kids. Some of them aren't even theirs. We've heard all the stories where the dudes got stuck paying child support for kids that weren't his. Can you imagine that? This is the system that we have. This is the male privilege and the patriarchy that they tell you about. Insane. In Australia, they got something called de facto laws. Do you guys know about these? Where living with someone for just a few months can entitle them to half your assets. Australia bros, talk to them about that. They don't know. Australia is a woke hellhole. So even when a man finds someone, there's always going to be a fear in his heart, some form of distrust, preventing, commitment, because the downside risk is catastrophic. We have a feminized society. One bad relationship can ruin you financially, ruin your life, and they are initiated 80% by women. That's what the divorce rate is, 80%. Because they're what? Not happy. What does that even mean? Or we grew apart. Or whatever other bullshit excuse. Essentially, it means I found somebody else with more money, or I got bored and I wanted to test the waters and be a hoe. Isn't that crazy? This shit is not sustainable, boys. So feminism, we got a generation now of women who are completely delusional about their value. They think they deserve top tier men while bragging, or I should say, not only bragging that they deserve it, but they also don't bring anything to the table like they claim they do, except debt and an attitude and a blown out vagina from fucking years of hookups, probably. And they're shocked. I mean, absolutely. When men aren't, lining up to wife you up? You, the town bicycle, passed around the block? Seriously? I was reading about a sociologist who's talking about how financial freedom creates detachment in relationships. And when women don't need men financially, they become dismissive. I mean, we all have firsthand experience with that kind of shit. They're more likely to leave first at the onset of trouble also. So he was focusing on whether the man, or I should say the woman, I think he was saying, is uber focused on whether the man is bringing any value rather than building it together. So they're very greedy in that sense, And to us in the red pill, it's like, no shit, bro. You don't need to study this shit and go to school. We understand by just dating them how hypergamous women are. They're always looking to trade up. And when you remove the financial dependency that kept them loyal, all you have left is women with their base nature, essentially, which is to choose the highest status male that they can. And they get in trouble with this all the time. They're willing to literally be part of a harem. That should tell you everything you need to know about how good a woman's ability is to choose a man. She would rather be a single mother who is like a side piece being taken care of on the side secretly than be with a man who makes a decent income and would be loyal to her and treat her like a queen the best he possibly could. Imagine that. A woman would rather choose to be a mistress and have some rich dude's baby and be a single mother than for you to love her. So just understand what that actually means, okay? That is the female nature, you guys. And feminists, they'll deny this shit all they want, but the data's not lying, dude. You read all these fucking accounts. Men are just giving up today or opting out entirely, right? Going your own way or checking out of the system, right? A ton of dudes are deciding it's better to be alone than deal with modern women's bullshit. Or they'll go overseas, right? You have a ton of men that are in their 30s and 40s who are done already, done. Would rather focus on careers and hobbies and like go on walks with their dogs and shit and buy a boat and go fishing than subject themselves to what, an emotional fucking and financial toll, a torture of dating some entitled bitch who thinks, you know, she's God's gift to earth. Like, it's insane. And they're actually what, overweight sixes with attitudes, and sixes is being fucking nice, by the way. So truth hurts, dude. But go travel a bit. Yeah, you'll see what it's like overseas where women are actually still skinny. And they can't really compete on that sense. Yeah. And then this stuff makes you think about the human cost, really. What happens when a bunch of men really do check out? What if that is the real right move? Seriously. Why, if you're asking, why would you participate in a system that's rigged against you? Why would you pursue a woman who views you as a walking ATM? Why would you risk divorce, rape, and decades of alimony and a slim chance of finding a quote unicorn, right? The unicorn, mine's different. Who's not a complete nightmare. Think about that shit. You wouldn't. If you're really one of these guys and you're thinking like, dude, what am I busting my ass doing 12-hour shifts? I'm coming home dirty as fuck. What's the point? And men are figuring this out, like en masse. The advice from the men who've adapted to this kind of dating market is very simple, you guys. Get rich, get fit, fuck who you want, don't commit. That's really it. Or if you can't attain that stuff for whatever reason, just opt out entirely. Focus on yourself. Build a life that you're proud of without a woman. Or the third option is usually passport and fish in better waters. That's literally the game right now in the modern era. Don't base your self-worth on some approval from creatures who've been ruined by feminism and social media. They're so vapid and NPC-like, literally, superficial. So, yeah. And if feminist tards want to screech and shit that men aren't fucking stepping up and being where the real men at, right? We're in a masculinity crisis, correct? You can tell them to go fuck themselves. Who brought on the masculinity crisis? Men are just literally adapting to the incentives that women created. You wanted independence, you got it. Now enjoy dying alone with your cats while your eggs dry up. And then you wonder why Chad from your 20s never came back. No shit. He's balls deep in other women, half your age. This is what feminism built. You got a generation of women too delusional to see reality until it's too late, and a generation of men too smart to play a rigged game. This is why the fertility rates are collapsing. Marriage rates are at historical lows. Everyone is fucking miserable and isolated and getting worse and worse and worse. Your fucking cats and your box wine doesn't make you happy. You go to bed at night and you wish you had a warm body next to you. And when you pass away, old as fuck, your cat will eat your face, and we're going to hear about it on the news, and it's going to be like, oh my God, old, lonely, single woman found with half her face missing. We didn't know she died for like 20 fucking 8 days. because she's got nobody that cares about her shit. Wow. Seriously. Yeah. And then they'll tell you, be vulnerable, bro. Communicate with respect, right? Talk to me. Talk to me. They'll say,
You gotta talk to me. Please share your feelings.
only for them to literally weaponize your feelings against you. You shed a single tear with these women. Guess what happens? Guess what happens? Goodbye. She dries up. You're not a real man anymore. Oh, I got the ick that he cried. Then later, dude, it's game over for you. So maybe, ladies, maybe you could try not being insufferable harpies with unrealistic standards. Maybe then we could just have a functional fucking society again. Just maybe. Yeah, I'm not holding my fucking breath though. So that's from the male side. And then we'll get on the women's side because I was reading a bunch of what the women were complaining with and shit. Dude, dating's such a joke today. Such a joke. Let me play. Before we get on the women's side, I'll play some of these.
Hell yeah, to $20. Hey brother, you should look into the Ohio bill for mandatory DNA testing presently being pushed. Also, the GOP came out about welfare recipients and making a workaround to opt out able-bodied men instead of able-bodied adults.
Of course. The GOP is not your friend. They're a complete fucking clown show. Oh, it's Echo? Oh, I can't fix that shit yet. Let me double check something.
Gothic Kickens $5. Aaron Clary offers good advice with zero world problems and batshit economics.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now? There we go. No sound. I muted myself. So Brighton said, so what is hope in all these situations? The problem is known. I'm aiming for solutions beyond the basics. Okay. So beyond the basics, there's not much you can do, honestly, besides fishing overseas for better options, or literally what I just said, getting your money up, getting your body up. You have to be competitive on the dating market. You have to be able to compete. You have to be better. There is no magic pill. That is the solution. The problem is competition is with the top 5% because women have access to a global market with dating apps to date literally guys that will fly them out. So NXRD, thanks brother for the 10. It's like we're living in two different realities. I talked to my sister and she gets mad at the idea that it's men opting out. She says, no, it's women opting out and the men are the ones looking for relationships. Yeah. Okay. Actually, both right in that sense. Women are doing their little, it's mostly leftist women. They're decentering men because they've been getting pumped and dumped so hard. So your sister might be a leftist, bro. If your sister is in a leftist group or a community, then yeah, they're, quote, decentering men. And that just means, hey, we're sick of getting pumped and dumped. And guys are just literally bailing out on us. ML, thanks, brother. I currently have almost $1 million in net worth. Should I just invest it and live off dividends overseas? I don't know, dude. That depends on your lifestyle. What do you want to, how much is your monthly budget going to be? What country do you want to live in? How much more money could you stack in the next couple of years? How old are you? There's too many questions here. You got to figure that out on your own. Brian, thanks, brother, for the 10. So once you obtain that, how do you hold on to it? So once you obtain what, bro? Success? Money? Your body? Like, the answers are already there. It's just the amount of work an average guy has to put in far exceeds most of the average men's capabilities. That's the problem. So any guy can go to the gym and work out, you're not going to have a Mr. Olympia body. Any dude can earn a decent amount of money, but will it be significant? Any dude can, yeah, essentially all those things. Now, what happens when you go overseas is the expectations are more down to earth. So if you're not going out in the sticks to try to get a super broke woman or something like that, and you still want, quality, high quality woman, the expectations are more realistic because they were raised in a traditional household. So you're not going to hear some stupid shit like a chick going, those questions that they had on those channels. I forgot what her name was. It was a chick. She was interviewing them, the Pagani BC chick. And she asked them, what is the average income like you think men are making, or what income do you want your man to make? And the women were answering crazy shit. Like a single fucking mother was saying she wants her man to make $600,000. She wants a Pagani BC. Another one was like, he's got to be making like a milli, 200, 300. Like they're pulling numbers out of their ass. Like most of these chicks don't make more than $40,000 to $60,000. You're not even in the vicinity of a man. Yes, Courtney Ryan. These women aren't in the vicinity of a man making six figures. But, and this is a big but that guys need to understand, what does happen is they've been pumped and dumped by a man that makes that kind of money. The reason they say 600,000 is because the guys they're matching up with, the guys that they literally rolled up to their house, got pumped, and I swear to you, this is how it works. I have plenty of friends that are north of millions of dollars. I myself have managed to do this back in my heyday. I was also very successful with my business. I got to dip my toe in that kind of shit, and I seen it. Chicks will literally come to your house, smash at the potential of them being memorable to you, of standing out. This is how women think they stand out today, by having sex with you and doing acrobatics, and so that you can call them back and they're different from other women. I'm not joking. So with very little incentives to have them stick around, with very little effort to get them in bed, men are inviting them over, and these women think like, oh my God, they're, how leading with the smash is the perfect way to describe it. Do you know how men fuck up and lead with their wallets? Well, women today, when they're after a man, lead with the smashing. They lead with their kitty. I'm telling you, it sounds insane, but it's just as insane when you say, like, stop leading with your wallet as a man because a woman will use you for your money. And women know, like, instinctually, don't be an idiot, bro. If you give me your wallet, I will take it and use you for every penny you have. It's the same shit, but women don't understand. Hey, don't lead with your kitty. I'm going to take it and not fucking call you back after. But that's literally, they think they're God's gift to earth. They can't fathom that. The thing that a man thinks when he's getting it like that is, oh, you probably do this for every guy. He's not going to think he's special. He's just going to think you're easy. And women somehow, and she literally could be the one chick that only gave it up to you like that, but you would never know, and you're never going to trust her because she did that. So women are literally throwing their own value away. It's hilarious. Yeah. ML, thanks for the 5, brother. How do I force my younger brother to work harder? He's currently a NEET, and my parents are supporting it. Well, your parents are supporting it. You can't force shit if your parents are enabling him. That's the issue. Yeah. How do you force somebody to do something when their, back's not up against the wall? Mommy and daddy's got you. Think about that for a second. The bailout is there, bro. He's perpetually bailed out by mommy and daddy. Nah, he's got no shot, unfortunately. Yeah. See if I move this off to the side. All right. Too family to fail, basically. Leave that poor dude alone, man. Oh my God. Oh, my dad is a doctor and my mom is a CMO, so they fund his life. Game over. He's done. He's cooked. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, bro. You just said that man is just living, mooching off the family. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. So anyway, back to somebody that wrote that his sister was complaining that women are the ones checking out. If you do look online, there are, and we've heard a bunch of the TikToks, by the way, that women are actually complaining about dating and it being hard right now, but it's not why you think it is. It's what we were describing earlier. Because I want you to understand something about this before we get into all these specifics. Every single problem that women are bitching about in modern dating, they literally created it. Every single one. I'm not being hyperbolic here. Just go look online and you'll read about women's experiences, all their complaints, and they all boil down to, why can I find a high value man who will commit to me after I spend my 20s fucking around and now I'm 32 with a body count in the double digits and a shit attitude? The answer is because you destroyed your own sexual market value. You ruined the culture that would have protected you, and you voted for all the economic and social policies that made this entire fucking mess that we're living in. Do you understand? I don't think that they understand this, actually. We'll start with the most basic reality that women refuse to accept. You cannot ride the cock carousel for a decade, fuck 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 dudes, prioritize your career over relationships, and then somehow you suddenly decide at 30 that you want to settle down and expect high-value men to line up for you. What fucking planet are you on? That's not how your SMV works at all. That's not how pair bonding works. That's not how male psychology works, period. Men don't want to wife up the town a bicycle. We don't want to be the guy who wins the privilege of committing to you after fucking 30 dudes got in you for free in your prime. And women know this deep down, which is why they lie about their body counts. But men aren't stupid. We can tell when a woman's been around. Okay? There's actual science on this too. Pair bonding ability decreases with every partner. Oxytocin receptors are getting fucked up. Women who've had multiple partners, they're more likely to divorce. It's all in the stats. The data is literally overwhelming on this. But women don't want to hear this because it means they have to take responsibility for their choices. And look, I get it. The whole fucking feminist lie was that you could have it all. You can fuck whoever you want in your 20s. You could focus on your career. You could delay marriage. You could delay kids. Somehow it'll all work out for you, sis. You just manifest this perfect lifestyle, right? And you'll still be desirable at 35 because Sex in the City told you so. A bunch of old fucking hags were being successful getting pumped and dumped. That men will still want you somehow. That you'll find your perfect partner who meets your standards. That's complete bullshit. You got sold a lie. Biology doesn't care about your feminism. Your eggs don't give a shit about your career. Your fertility falls off a cliff after 30, and it gets even worse after 35. And by 40, you're basically done. Right? But feminists, they told women, ignore this reality, you guys. Pursue education and get a career and delay family formation. And now we got a generation of women hitting the wall and panicking because the math doesn't fucking work anymore. There's a professor, I can't even remember what her fucking name was. She had a story where she followed some broke guy. She had an article about this. She followed a broke dude across borders, sponsored his fucking visa, carried the dude's Hollywood dreams for like 15 years, and then she acted shocked when he resented her for it. And she was framing this shit as men being intimidated by strong, independent women. What actually happened is she picked a fucking loser. She ignored all the red flags because she thought she could fix him, he's a bad boy, and then got mad when her terrible judgment blew up in her face. This is typical women dating right here. That's literally what female mate selection boils down to. Women are terrible at picking men. They can't decide on what to eat. What makes you think they can decide on the right man? Because their feelings get in the way. That's the point. They can't. Their feelings get in the way. This isn't even controversial to say, bro. The data proves this shit. Women initiate 80% of the divorces. I told you. Women are the ones that are monkey branching from relationship to relationship. Women are the ones who can't fucking commit. They're always looking to trade up. Who leave the second they're not happy anymore. Or, they want to meet someone with more money. Seriously, superficial. You think a woman will date a guy at McDonald's? No, but a millionaire could pull up in a drive-thru, see a super fucking hot chick as a cashier and go, you know what, I could change your life. No woman that has a college education. The moment a woman gets a college education and that piece of paper is in her hand, you know what she says? Fuck no, minimum must be college educated. You could be a dude, a plumber, with your ass crack hanging out half the day, and you got 7 other plumbers under you, and you're pulling down easy six figures. You're making millions. And she'll just, her nose will be up. She's holding it because it stinks. He's a plumber. You stupid bitch, he makes more money than you ever will. You're so fucking stupid. But they're addicted to the status. They're too dumb to make decisions. It's insanity, bro. How many women have thrown away good men to the wayside because of status, because of what they saw on TikTok, because of the amount of stupidity that's filtering through their brains from the fucking slop that they're consuming. It's never been worse today. But they want to frame it as men being commitment phobes, when it's women who's destroying commitment. Think about that shit. It's completely one-sided and dangerous for men to be in a committed relationship with a woman today. Her brain could be taken over by TikTok slop at any moment. You're one fucking shorts or reel or scroll away from her thinking she's better than you and you should get replaced. Marriage used to be a partnership, you guys. Man provides and protects. The woman does what? She nurtures and supports. What happened to that? Then you built a life together. You had your ups and downs. Nothing's perfect. That's life. It's 2 people. You're always going to get on each other's nerves. That's how this shit worked for thousands of years. It worked because both sides had some skin in the game. Both sides had some incentives to make this shit work. Feminism destroyed the incentive structure. It literally told women they don't need men. They're strong and independent. They can do everything a man can do. So women stopped holding their end of the fucking partnership. They stopped being feminine in the West. They stopped being supportive. They started competing with men instead of complementing them. This is why I tell you guys that adversarial attitude, that nature doesn't exist in the rest of the world. Women don't compete with men. They complement them. And so Western women are now fucking confused why men don't want to get married to them at all. Are you fucking kidding me? Are we not shouting from the rooftops over and over? It's insane. Why would any man, commit to a modern woman today? You have a 70% chance of getting divorced by her. She gets to take half your fucking assets, alimony, child support. Think about that shit. She can take your retirement, dude. That's insane. The system will literally back her. Lifetime alimony is a thing. Lifetime alimony is a thing. The system is so biased towards them the entire step of the way, the moment the court proceedings begin. Think about this shit. Why? Because the way women vote. Women are the majority of voters today, and they vote for policies that benefit women at whose expense? Who else? It's a zero-sum game. At a man's expense. That's the political angle that nobody talks about. Women's suffrage has been a fucking disaster for Western civilization. I mean, I'm just going to fucking say it. There you go. Because it's true. It is. Women vote based on emotion and security, not fucking logic and freedom. They vote for bigger government, more welfare, more regulation, more safety at the expense of liberty. Look at the voting patterns. Women vote Democrat by huge fucking margins. Women support immigration, mass immigration, even though it makes them less safe. Women support feminist policies that literally destroy the family. Women support abortion, which has killed 80 million, if not more, babies in the US alone since Roe v. Wade. Women vote to expand government control over every aspect of our lives because they want daddy government to take care of them. And this shit's, I'm not speculating. This isn't, me being a misogynist. This is literally documented political science. You can look up the numbers. Women's political preferences lean heavily toward collectivism, safety, and emotion-based policy rather than freedom and logic-based policy. Look it up. Before women's suffrage, we had masculine republics with limited government. After women's suffrage, we have feminine democracies that metastasize into bureaucratic nightmares that regulate and tax us to death. You can draw, literal on the map, a direct line from women's suffrage to the expansion of the welfare state, probably to the destruction of the family unit, and to the insane economic policies that made it impossible for average people to afford housing, starting families, all of that shit. And women don't take any responsibility for this because taking responsibility would be, admitting that you fucked up. When do women ever do that shit? Actually, my wife did that the other day. Actually, I'll give her credit. My wife actually surprised me. We were working out in the gym, and she came up and she apologized. She said, "I'm sorry." And I was like, wow. I didn't even have to coax this one out of you. You really just thought about everything and then came and admitted something. Anyways, let's get back to the complaints about dating. They're super ironic. So women are complaining that men don't approach them anymore, that men are low effort, that they won't commit, and they don't understand that women created this dynamic through hookup culture that they perpetuate. You wanted to be treated like a man. Congratulations, we're treating you like men. That means no special treatment, no coddling, no pretending you're special just because you have a vagina. You wanted equality, you actually got it. Now you're competing in the sexual marketplace like everyone else, and you're discovering that you're just not as valuable as you thought you were. So women complaining about men being broke, not making enough money, all that shit. But women voted for policies that destroy male employment. How rich is that? Women support mass immigration, which suppresses wages for working class men. Ironic, isn't it? Women support regulations that kill small businesses and that essentially employed men. Women support college policies that discriminate against male students. Women create hostile work environments with Me Too, HR departments that treat every man as a potential rapist. We all know what it's like. And then you're shocked that men are checking out, that men are broke, that men don't want to bust their asses to make money when the government is going to tax the shit out of them and their potential girlfriend is going to view them as a walking ATM. You created this, you fucking tards. And the economic complaints are my favorite because they just reveal how a woman's thinking is completely backwards. What the fuck? I can't remember. Something Dawson, there's this writer. He's talking about 1 in 3 women stay in toxic relationships due to financial dependency, okay? And he was framing it as a problem that society needs to solve. But the financial dependency used to be called marriage. You fucking numbnuts. That's the partnership. That's what that meant. The man provides financially. The woman provides other value. You build a life together. That's called depending on each other. That's how families work. That's how literally civilization was built. Literally. But then feminists reframed normal relationships as economic entrapment. I'm not joking. That's what they call that shit. That women depending on a man is somehow oppression. We've heard that before. So women should go get their own careers, make their own money, never say you need a man, all that shit. What do you need a man for? He's like, does a fish need a bicycle? You remember that stupid shit? By a fucking CIA op, no less. Okay, fine. Then you don't get to turn around and complain that men aren't providing for you, that men aren't stepping up to be husbands and fathers for you. You can't have independence and security. You can't fucking reject financial dependency and then complain that men aren't financially supporting you. Pick one, you delusional fuck. Like, pick your struggle, bro. You don't get to be like Schrodinger's feminist, simultaneously like a victim and empowered. And this is what gets to this core of the hypocrisy. Because women actually want the benefits of both traditional and modern arrangement with none of the responsibilities of either. They want men to pay for dates, to make more money, to be providers, but they also want to maintain independence, total independence, and the ability to leave whenever they want with no consequences. Get fucked. Never gonna happen. Get fucked. You will be sharing a man and you'll be part of a harem. That's your prize. Stupid games, stupid prizes. You can't call that shit a relationship. That's parasitism. That's what that is. The amounts, dude, of women that are complaining That men demand sex after buying dinner, clutching their fucking pearls like it's some outrageous expectation. You went on a date, he paid for your food and your drinks, and you're shocked that he expects something in return? Cindy? Unreal. Dating used to have clear rules. Man pays, makes an effort, courts the woman. Woman shows appreciation, is feminine, receptive, rewards his effort with affection. That's how the shit used to work. Feminism destroyed those rules too. They told women that you don't owe men for anything. And now men have adjusted their expectations accordingly. Okay? You want to be treated independent and equal? Fine, split the check, bitch. Pay your own way. Men will invest effort when they see a return on investment. That's simple. And modern women provide no ROI. Everyone in the chat here knows what I'm talking about. Read all the complaints. They're bitching about men ghosting, not committing, treating them like they're disposable. No shit, dude. That's how you've been treating men for decades. You ghost men constantly. You flake on dates. You string guys along while you're fucking someone else. You branch to another dude who you think's better the second he appears in your life. Turnabout is fair play. This is karma. Because they love karmic retribution so much. Congratulations. You played yourself. Men learn from women's behavior. And now they're applying the same strategies right back at them. And they don't like it at all, do they? So how the fuck are women the ones complaining about hookup culture and apps making dating superficial? You created the hookup culture. Feminists fought for sexual liberation, for consequence-free sex, to remove all stigma from promiscuity. You guys got what you wanted. Now you're dealing with the consequences of a dating market where commitment is dead and everybody's trading up based on looks and status and you don't like what's happening? Are you fucking retarded? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's over, bro. You destroyed the social fabric that enforced monogamy and commitment. And now you're in a free-for-all where the top 10% of dudes have access to all women, and average men and average women are both miserable now. Congratulations. And women won't admit their role in this. It's always a man's fault. They refuse to self-reflect, bro. They refuse accountability. It really is kryptonite. Literally, it's like almost they're like physiologically incapable of this shit. It's always someone else's fault. Always a man's fault. Always society's fault. The government's fault. Never the fact that you made the terrible choices and now you're dealing with the consequences. This shit's crazy. Women are the ones that are, think about social media and shit like that. Women are addicted to their phones, to social media, to the validation they get from it, the constant attention and entertainment. Men would be perfectly happy with just, a text every few hours. It's women who need the constant contact and reassurance because they're fucking neurotic and insecure. It's insane. What pisses people off the most about all these complaints when you read about them, especially from the man side, is that the lack of gratitude. Absolutely. Women in the West are so privileged and protected, probably the most coddled demographic in human history. You have every legal protection, every social advantage, every single opportunity is afforded to you. You can vote, you can own property, you freely get educated, you can pursue any career you want. You're protected from violence, from literal consequences, from accountability in your own actions. Men built all of this. Men created the wealth, the technology, the legal systems, the entire infrastructure that gives you this comfortable life. And your response is to complain that you can't find a man good enough for you while you bring nothing to the table except debt, attitude, and fucking blown out puss. Get fucked. Like, men collectively are saying, fuck you. So when these femmes are asking, why are men checking out? Why are they going MGTOW or passport bros? Oh my God, foreign women. Why the fuck would you do that? Or they're just focusing on making money and fucking around and pumping and dumping. Why would men do this? Because dealing with modern women is not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Is a famous saying. You're terrible relationship partners. You destroy everything you touch, and you will never take responsibility for any of it. And the fertility rates fucking prove it. Every Western country is below replacement. Marriages are at historic lows. Everyone's miserable. This is what feminism built. A generation of women who are too delusional, too entitled, and too ruined to be wives and mothers. And then you have a generation of men who figured out the game is rigged and opted out. Think about that. But somehow they'll still blame men for not stepping up and fixing them from their own mistakes. It's insane, dude. It's insane. Literally blame everybody but themselves. So, yeah. Think of the political consequences, though. I've been thinking about this for the last few days. Women are the ones voting for the open borders that Europe's fighting right now. They're literally importing millions of foreign men who they have no hangups about literally your woman's rights. None. You're importing your own replacement, your own literal oppressors, because you're so obsessed with feeling morally superior and compassionate that you'll destroy your own civilization to signal virtue. It's got to be a form of psychosis. Women are you aborted 80 million babies. Like, what? That's more than every war in American history combined. You genocided your own offspring because pregnancy was inconvenient. Because you wanted to focus on some shit like a career? You fucking kidding me, dude? And now they'll be 35 years old. And for the 35-year-olds listening to this, your eggs are dying. You want to have kids. We know this. But you can't find a man who will commit to you. Why? You spent 15 fucking years making yourself unmarriageable. And instead of admitting that you fucked up, you'll blame men for being intimidated by strong women. Wrong. You'll blame society for supporting, or I should say for not supporting working mothers. Wrong. Or you'll blame literally anything except your own discrepancies. Wrong again. But that's just female nature. No accountability ever. It's always someone else's fault. And then we gave women political power because we're fucking retarded. And they vote to expand the lack of accountability through the legal system, through welfare programs, through divorce courts that destroy men, through laws that criminalize male sexuality while protecting female promiscuity. That's why patriarchies were the norm throughout history. Not because men were oppressing women, but literally because when women have power, they destroy civilizations. They vote based on emotion, guys, not logic. Get it through your head. They pursue short-term security over long-term freedom. They care more about feelings and facts than facts, And while they tank entire societies just so they can avoid uncomfortable truths. We're literally watching this happen in real time. Every Western nation that gave women full political rights is now in demographic and cultural collapse. Literally. Masculinity is demonized, femininity is celebrated, and the result is a generation of weak men, miserable women, and no children to carry on this fucking civilization that we built. And when it all comes crashing down very soon, when Western civilization is collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions, and we're conquered by cultures that don't make the same mistake of giving tards power, future historians will point to women's suffrage as the turning point. The moment we decided to ruin civilization based on feelings rather than facts. And we doomed ourselves in the process. We got fucked. And none of that shit matters to modern women. You think it's funny. Do you think they think about Rome? Do you think they think about the empire? Do you think they think about what could have been, what was? I don't think so. Yeah. A woman will be like, I'm unhappy, therefore society needs to change to cater to me. She can't find a man good enough for her, therefore men need to improve. She made terrible choices, therefore everyone else needs to deal with the consequences of her own actions. That's literally the feminine mindset. That's what we're dealing with. And until women collectively take responsibility for the culture they created, for all their voting patterns that destroyed this economy, the sexual marketplace that they ruined with hookup culture, nothing will get better. So I'm asking you, when are you going to take accountability? Until you do, it's only going to get worse. Women are going to end up more and more alone and more miserable. Men are going to just say, fuck it. They're going to check out en masse, continue growing in numbers. that they're opting out of the system, and the civilization around us will collapse because women refuse to admit that maybe feminism wasn't such a good idea and we better backtrack a little bit. It was a lie. We got sold a dream that sexual liberation actually destroyed our chances of being successful for marriage. The whole you could have it all was all, it's bullshit. Actually, it was CIA slop. That's what it actually was. Feminism was pushed by the CIA. They don't even know that. Spook slop is what they consumed. By the time they literally figure that shit out, it'll be too late, dude. Your eggs will be dead. The men will be gone. The civilization that their grandmothers inherited will be a distant fucking memory. Men are trying to desperately avoid this shit. Insane. Oh, I got my fucking career. I'll get to sleep around in my 20s. You're totally worth it, sis. Good job. Strange dick in your 20s was worth ruining the rest of your life for. Stupendous. Let me read some of these. ML thanks. How come as a firstborn son, I was expected to succeed at all costs and my little brother is allowed to be a NEET? Because you're the firstborn. That always falls. That always falls on the firstborn, by the way. That expectation. Because it's the first time your parents, you're the first, bro. So parents expect the world out of the firstborn. Like you're perfect in their eyes. And then by the time they have a second kid and they've been through rearing a child, it's much more easygoing for a parent. They'll go, whatever, dude. Let this one eat dirt. He's a little retarded. That's fine. We don't have to deal with it. It's okay. That's essentially what it's like. All right. Next one. Somewhere in the Rockies. Thanks for the 10, brother. Got clean 13 years ago and met my girl 6 months later this year. She doesn't drive and she stays home. She helped me become a millionaire. I'm 37, married 2 years. We have a prenup. Protect yourself and know your worth. Appreciate you, brother. Rooting for you guys. About a prenup for tax purposes, always recommended, of course. Someone called me a fed, dude. Why would you do that? You hurt my feelings. How dare you? Am I a fed or am I paid by Qatar or Mossad? Or who else is it? Russia or China? Oh, Hamas. Can't forget Hamas. I'm also paid by Hamas. I'm paid by Hamas, and I also have TDS and what else? We're ruining people's lives, honestly. They're so upset, bro. You want to fucking vote for Kamala? You fucking what? Dude, they're so mad. You can't talk about my daddy Trump like that. We're over here fucking crashing out on everybody, dude. We're crashing out on democracy. We're crashing out on feminism, crashing out on Trump. It's a crash out, dude. 2025, we're crashing out. The economy is fucking dog shit. We're crashing out on the stock market. It's fine to crash out, dude. Society is not operating like it should. We're not winning. It's okay to crash out. You fucking vote for Kamala. That's literally what they sound.
You fucking voted for Kamala. Yeah, you want Kamala, voter? I can't wait for my daddy Trump to bend me over. Can I vote harder, daddy? Yes, let me take it. Yes, please. Please pin another award on me.
Y'all are fucking gay. I'm trying to hear that shit. Horrendous, dude. White men for Kamala. Yeah. Yeah, the Democrats are on this 24/7.
Hello, I'm a Democrat from the middle of California. I like to get pegged. My wife's boyfriend comes over every day. My life's great. If you could just vote Democrat, we'd all be happier. Because Trump is a big meanie, and I don't like fascists, so I'm gonna go to the No Kings rally while my wife hangs out with her boyfriend.
Yeah. Anyways, bro. We ain't trying to hear all that shit. Yeah. Fucking A. We was no kangs. Yeah. We need an independent part. We need literally we need men and women, conservatives, independents to go embed themselves in the system. We have no choice, dude. Republicans and Democrats are dog shit. Literally. People who vote for them literally
Get pegged in the ass. Like, get peg me harder, daddy. I vote for the two-party system. At least it wasn't Kamala. At least it wasn't Trump.
Please shut the fuck up. NX, I see it, yeah. Good reminder. Yesterday, for the first time, appreciate the 10, dude. A woman threw herself at me. I think it's because her one and only left her and she seemed vulnerable. How do I replicate that effect with other women? I've never been to the gym. When I read shit like that,
I've never been to the gym. How do I replicate women wanting to jump all over my dick? I've never went to the gym.
come on, bro. You're not, listen. Go to the fucking gym and work out. It's for your own mental health. It balances your hormones. It reduces cortisol. You will think better. You will sleep better. You will feel better. That's it. And why would you want a vulnerable woman that's looking for a rebound who doesn't give a fuck about you? Because the moment that guy comes calling again, you're going to catch feelings smashing some chick who's rebounding, and then she's going to ghost your ass and you're going to be like, what the fuck happened? Why did this happen to me?
I can't believe this happened to me. I thought she was different.
She wasn't different, bro. Her fucking ex-boyfriend called her and rearranged her guts, and then he's going to stop calling her again. And then you're over there picking up the pieces and shit. Let's be real. Come on, bro. Do better. I expect you to do better. Oh man. Okay, we gotta get serious here. I'm about to crash out on the left right now. We need a second opinion from our Black Queen Gerber. Oh, link me episodes. I like him. His stuff's funny. Yeah, I'm crashing out, dude, on the Nigeria situation. I can't anymore. 7,000. Let me repeat this. Because I'm being a bad Christian. 7,000 Christians got murdered in Nigeria in the first 7 months of 2025. Did anybody here know that? I guarantee you nobody here knew that. 7,000. Women and children are getting beheaded. Churches are getting burned during service. And entire villages are getting massacred, dude, on Christmas and Easter this year. Christmas last year, okay? Where's the coverage? Where's the outrage? Where is BLM? Crickets. I think I literally have... I have the cricket soundboard. I do. So I was researching and I was looking around. We are at 100,000 Christians killed since 2009. 100,000 Christians. 18,000 churches have been destroyed. Millions are getting displaced, have already been displaced. And the Western media basically decided that this doesn't exist because it doesn't fit their narrative. And do you know what the narrative is? Muslims are victims, Christians are oppressors, and if the story doesn't fit that framework, then it gets memory hold. These are black Africans being slaughtered, black lives, right? But apparently black lives only matter when a cop kills one of them during an arrest, apparently. Not when Islamic death squads are beheading them by the thousands, just rolling over entire villages. So you got Fentanyl Floyd, who dies from the overdose of fentanyl while resisting arrest, and we got months of riots with billions in damage. Every corporation was bending the fucking knee, and the media coverage was 24/7 for Saint Fentanyl Floyd. But 7,000 Christians are massacred in 7 months, and you get radio silence from the same race-hustling pieces of shit who lectured us about caring about black lives. Are you fucking kidding me? This is beyond hypocrisy. This is evil. This is disgusting. These so-called morally superior progressives are silently watching genocide continue because acknowledging it would require admitting that Islam is a violent death cult and Christians are victims. And they won't do that because that destroys their entire worldview. Look at what's happening. You got Boko Haram and all these other ones. I think another one's called like Fulani. All these militias. These are all Islamic jihadist groups going village to village, killing Christians specifically. They're burning churches during service, bro, not when they're empty. Burning people inside of them. And attacks from Christmas to Easter because guess what? They know when Christians are gathering and they're shouting Allah Akbar while they're beheading children in front of their parents. The videos are out there. You can watch them. Religion of peace, everybody. So in June 2025, in Yelwada, the town, over 200 Christians got massacred in one night. Most of them were women and children. They were sheltering in a market square, and Islamic militants came in the middle of the night and beheaded people and burned their bodies. Christmas 2012, same shit. Plateau State, 295 Christians got killed in coordinated attacks. Palm Sunday 2025, 51 dead. The pattern is obvious. It's so obvious that it would be insulting that media outlets tried to deny it because the attack on Christian holidays and them targeting the churches during worship and all the forced conversions at gunpoint, kidnapping priests, executing them after demanding ransom and all that. No. That totally can't be happening, right? Because according to the mainstream media propagandists, it's just sectarian violence, you guys. It's just, ethnic tensions. That's what they call them, literally. Or the best headline that literally seared into my brain as I'm reading about literal genocide and watching people get shot point blank with AKs in a line is climate change forcing the herders south. Go fuck yourself. Islam at it again. And the left won't say that word because Muslims are a protected class in their hierarchy of victimhood. So Christians, especially black African Christians who don't have oil or resources that we want, they're at the bottom of the fucking barrel. Nobody gives a shit about them. Democrats are completely silent on it. Not a fucking peep. These are the same people, may I remind you, who scream about human rights and lecture us about caring literally about the marginalized. But when Christians are being genocided, they can't find the fucking time to mention any of it because acknowledging that would hurt their fucking political narrative, wouldn't it? They're too busy with the No Kings March, protesting against Trump, and they're too busy pushing drag queen story hour on kindergartners. But 7,000 Christians dead in 7 months, not worth their fucking time. Right? Not worth their time. Not at all. Where's Kamala Harris? Do you ever wonder that? Where's AOC? Where's Ilhan Omar? The terrorist sympathizer. The real terrorist sympathizer. Who married her brother, by the way. The one who tweets about Gaza like every 5 fucking minutes won't say shit about Christians being beheaded. Isn't that funny? She's nowhere to be seen, bro, because no Jews were involved. So she can't use it for their essential Israel-Palestine narrative. And the perpetrators are Muslim extremists, which they refuse to criticize because Muslims vote Democrat. And they need the votes. And the victims are the Christians, which Democrats hate with a passion. Even Bill Maher. I stopped watching him fucking years ago. Even he had a clip that went viral where he called this out and said the media won't cover it because it doesn't involve Jews or fit left-wing narratives. And you know what the Western media does decide to cover extensively? Gaza, Ukraine, Ukraine, which has gotten like 200 billion of our money, and climate change hoaxes, transgender bathroom rights, every manufactured crisis that advances progressive agenda gets wall-to-wall coverage. But actual genocide of Christians in Africa, well, bury that shit, bro. Oh, they're black, they're poor, and they're Christian. 3 strikes, you're out. The New York Times barely fucking mentioned anything about the CNN, ignored it completely. MSNBC pretends it doesn't exist. These outlets will run stories about Trump's mean tweets for weeks, but they can't spare a single fucking segment for the mass murder of Christians. And when they do mention it, if ever, which I've seen some articles online from others, they'll frame it as farmer-herder conflicts, ethnic clashes, instead of what it actually is: Islamic jihadists systematically exterminating Christians to establish Sharia law. You guys know that Boko Haram literally translates to, Google this shit, Western education is forbidden. Their whole ideology is establishing Sharia law and eliminating Western influences, which includes Christianity. Western education is banned. You don't say? You don't fucking say, huh? They literally publish manifestos declaring war on Christians, and they declare allegiance to ISIS, and literally film the attacks and post them online. You could watch them online. And the media acts like this is some complex situation with no clear bad guys. We don't know. There's so many rebel groups and ethnic tensions. It's bullshit. This is a religious war. It's Islam versus Christianity. And the Christians are losing because no one in the West will help them or even acknowledge what's happening because the truth is too politically incorrect. I'm exhausted, bro, at this shit. The hypocrisy is insane. I don't want America to get involved militarily. We've got way too much shit to deal with at home. Our border barely closed. We let in 20 million fucking illegals. They're running around in here in our country. Our economy is fucked with inflation. And it's destroying the middle class. Our cities are literally turning into war zones. We have fentanyl zombies like fucking, it looks like some shit off AMC right now. Our cities are turning into third world shitholes with crimes and homelessness. We're nearly 40 trillion in debt. By 2026, we're estimated to be at 40 trillion in debt. We can't afford to be world police anymore. Okay, we spent decades and trillions on failed interventions, and they accomplished fucking nothing except getting Americans killed. Still, though, can we do anything? Should we do anything? That's the question. I guess in a roundabout way, can we just arm the Christians? Maybe. Give them some weapons? Maybe. Embed some training in there from special forces, something like that, so that these people can fight back? Maybe kill some of these terrorist savages themselves instead of being slaughtered like sheep? Maybe. Is that possible? Or do we turn our back on them? I don't know. It's a moral question we have to ask ourselves. If there is a low-risk way to get a sphere of influence, for example, like what do we get out of this? And maybe gain an ally, a foothold in the region. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we providing guns and ammunition? That's the shit we have a lot of. We spend a lot of money on defense. Then these communities could maybe defend themselves. Then I have to be real about this, because I've seen this come up recently a lot too. I'm also tired of this pacifist pussy Christianity that just takes it. Aren't you? This turn the other cheek spiritual principle is fucking ruining the West. It's a suicide pact, practically. Dude, when jihadists are coming to burn your church and behead your children, you are allowed to defend yourself. Arm them. That's all I'm saying. Let them fight back, dude. Let them stack some bodies of Islamic militants until the attacks stop. These people understand one language. For fuck's sakes, the founder of Blackwater, Eric Prince, dude is he's like goading the Pope, and he's trying to convince him to fund a mercenary force to go protect Nigerian Christians. Honestly, that might be an option at this point. Seriously, because nobody else is going to do shit. Why not send some mercs? Some soldiers of fortune down there to mop fuckers up. Just saying. But when you say, like, what's the Nigerian government doing? Well, apparently they can't or won't protect the Christians. And there's some reports from people on X that are saying that they're complicit in all of this shit by relocating the Christians I should say, relocating Christians' land by putting Muslim herders in there. So it's basically enabling a genocide. You think international organizations are going to do something? They'll do nothing. They never do anything. Most of the Western world doesn't even know it's happening. So yeah, maybe private security might be the only answer. Seriously. Go in there, waste these fucks, and be done with it. I get the cynicism why no one cares. They're black. Be honest. They're just black. And they're poor. And they have no oil. And they have no strategic resources. And they're not in any part of the world we give a fuck about. They're just poor fucking farmers. They have zero leverage in global politics. So from a stone cold geopolitical perspective, there's literally no benefit to helping these people. But that's exactly the point. All the humanitarian rhetoric from the left, all the talk about caring about oppressed people, it's all bullshit. Because the left only cares when it advances their agenda or makes them look good. Fentanyl Floyd got the world's attention. He sparked a global movement, changed policies, got murals and fucking statues. Streets got named after him. And he died from a drug overdose during an arrest after passing counterfeit money. On the other side, you have 7,000 Christians that are intentionally murdered by religious motivations, getting genocided. The women are getting raped. The children are getting beheaded. This is brutal medieval shit. Families are getting burned alive. The reports are horrific. It's hell on earth for these people. And barely anybody will know their names. That tells you everything about the progressive stack. Your victim points disappear completely when you're Christian. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're killed in the most brutal way imaginable. If you're a Christian, you're at the bottom and nobody gives a shit. BLM proved this. Black lives matter unless you're a black Christian being slaughtered by Muslims. Then suddenly you don't count. Black Christians being massacred by Muslims, can't use that for anything. It doesn't help Democrats, and it doesn't attack white people, and it doesn't justify more welfare spending. Can't. So they're ignored. They're literally left to die while BLM focuses on criminals who got shot by cops. It's all a racket. It's a fucking scam. And it's not just the media or the Democrats. Look at who this ties into. Okay? The same people who ignore Christian prosecution are the ones that are pushing for unlimited Muslim immigration to the West. No vetting, no assimilation requirements, nothing. They won't talk about what Islam does to Christians in Nigeria. But they want to import millions of Muslims into America and Europe? Fuck you. Look at the UK. They imported millions of Muslims who refused to integrate, and they created parallel societies with Sharia courts who formed grooming gangs that raped thousands of British girls while the police looked the other way because they were afraid to be called racist. Huh? Rotterdam, Rochdale, Telford, thousands of white British girls raped by Muslim grooming gangs, and the authorities covered it up for decades. That's what you get when you import Islam without demanding assimilation. Dearborn, Michigan, boys back home in America, headed in the same direction with the Muslim population that's taken over. And they're pushing for Sharia law, and they're refusing to integrate, and they're creating enclaves, these little carve-outs in America where American values don't apply. Told you when we were talking about civic nationalism why these carve-outs are dangerous. And before progressive cocksuckers accuse me of Islamophobia, I don't care. Call it whatever you fucking want. Islam is incompatible with Western civilization. Wherever Islam becomes dominant, Christians get prosecuted or killed. That's not Islamophobia, that's history. Nigeria, Syria, Pakistan, Egypt, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, every Muslim majority country prosecutes Christians. That's Islam. You're an infidel. You understand? Importing a large Muslim population into the West without integration is importing the same violence and intolerance. Europe's learning this shit the hard way. We don't have to repeat their mistakes in America. The left wants open borders for Muslims while ignoring what Muslims do to Christians globally. What the fuck? That's not compassion. That's civilizational suicide. It's just wrapped in their virtue signal. And you know what? This isn't just Nigeria. Christians are the most prosecuted religious group globally. That's documented fact. But you'd never know from Western media coverage. Of course you wouldn't. You think, did you even know this was happening in Nigeria? I don't think anybody in the chat even knew that this was happening. In the Middle East, it's happening. North Africa, South Asia. Christians are being targeted everywhere by Islamic extremists. The media doesn't connect these dots because that would require admitting there's something systemically wrong with Islamic ideology. They'll blame it on poverty or colonialism or climate change or anything, literally anything, except admit what the actual ideological motivation is. It's Islam. It's always been Islam because the Quran explicitly calls for the subjugation or killing of non-Muslims. That's not an interpretation, bro. That's literally the text. You can read it. And in places where Islam gets power, that text gets enforced. We're not allowed to say that in the West because it's Islamophobic. So Christians will keep dying while we pretend, right, that this problem is anything other than what it is, obviously. And look, I mean, just ask ex-Muslims who've escaped. They'll tell you the same thing. Islam, as is currently practiced in most Muslim majority countries, is a death cult that's incompatible with human rights and women's rights and religious freedom and any of the values we claim to care about here in the West. But those voices, those voices get silenced by the left because they don't fit the narrative. People who lived under Islam and are trying to warn us get called bigots by the same progressives who never experienced Islamic rule. It's the same when the left tries to tell us how great communism is. They never lived under communism. Comrade, you don't get to be a painter in your nice high-rise apartment. You're going straight to the mines. You will die of black lung. You will go work where the city, or I should say the state, needs you to work. The idea in your head is far different from the reality on the ground. The left's selective outrage exposes them completely. You can't be crying about women's rights but ignore honor killings in Muslim communities, you fuck. You can't be screaming shit about like LGBTQ, but you got Muslims throwing gay people off buildings and shit, stoning them to death. And then they'll talk about religious freedom, and then they'll ignore Christians being genocided by Muslims. Why? Because Muslims vote what? Democrat. This is the same reason why they don't want white South African farmers or populist-leaning Europeans to come to America, because they vote Republican. And if these Democrats, if they criticize Islam, they might lose voters. Their ideology requires Muslims to be victims and Christians to be oppressors. So reality contradicting them, it can't be acknowledged. That's what it is. So Christians will die by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, by maybe hundreds of thousands. And Democrats will say nothing because those deaths are politically inconvenient. And the media is just as guilty because every outlet that's buried this story, every fucking journalist who's downplayed the religious angle, every editor who spiked the coverage, along with every pro-black or BLM influencer, you all have blood on your hands. You're fucking cowards. I haven't seen a single video, a single article, a single mention, a tweet, or a quip about this. You are an accessory through silence. That's what the left says, right? Silence is violence. Words are violence. You can't say that. But also, if you're silent, you're complicit, and that's violence too. Imagine calling yourself pro-black and you don't talk about this. And I could already see the fucking hypocrisy. That's not our problem. Africans and American blacks are different. Not to everybody else, you're not. Every outside culture looks at you all as the same. You better start recognizing what's happening to your brothers in Africa. Shit is ridiculous. Anyways, like I was saying, we got massive problems here at home. And me being one of the few voices, my nutty ass talking about this, when it should be every single fucking Democrat and progressive who claims they care about oppressed people, is rich as fuck, dude, in all its irony. It's insane. I'm telling you, we can't afford to get involved in Nigeria militarily. We have our own collapse to deal with here. But at least maybe arm them. Send in, through the Pope, all these soldiers of fortune. Get them in there. I don't know. Stop fucking importing Islam into the West before we end up with the same problems here. That's all I'm saying. We already know all your victim points disappear when you're Christian. The left celebrates when Christians die. Did they forget, or did you forget how they did Charlie Kirk? Yeah, they were laughing. They were celebrating. A man got shot, taken away from his family. So, let me read some super chats. Religion of peace, yeah. All right, crash out over, I promise. How's this mic sound, by the way? I think we'll call it with this video. I was going to react to a couple more things, but it's midnight here already. Thank you. Yeah, the Pope is a cuck. Mic sounds good. All right. We still got issues. I don't know how to get the echo to stop. Yeah, it's a SM7B. I had a much more higher quality mic than this one, but it catches room echo. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care if they follow a sect of orthodoxy, dude. Who cares? I'm Orthodox Christian, and who cares? Christian is Christian. Yeah. I wanted to cover, we might cover this one tomorrow. The riots in Ireland right now because of was she 12 years old? But a 12-year-old girl was raped in Ireland, and then now they're having riots, like violent riots in Ireland. I saw crazy riots going on right now, so I want to read up more about that, research, and how Ireland got this bad and all the demographic shifts that they're experiencing. Tommy Robinson's gay as fuck, dude. He's super pro-Zio. He's Zio Goyslop Supreme. No, thank you. Isaac, thanks, brother. Look at the treatments of infidels. Yeah. And go im. Not much different. Very slick. Good job with that one. The golden era is upon us. I can feel it coming, just like the Epstein list on Bondi's desk. Any day now. Any day now. We're waiting. Oh, my God. Someone said, why don't you debate Islam with Myron Gaines or Mohammed Hijab? Because right now, you are echoing your own echo chant. What the fuck is there to debate, bro? Your text literally says, slay infidels. What are we debating? Does the Quran say you need to slay infidels? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, you can't live here in the West with us. Do you subjugate women? Do you marry underage child brides? Oh, you do? Okay, you can't be here. What? What are you fucking talking about? If your religion is so good, stay the fuck in your countries then where it's predominant. Coming over here to the West and shit and bringing your fucking shithole ideologies. No thanks, bro. No thanks. Keep that shit back there where you came from. And that's one of the reasons why your countries can't even develop well. Go debate Mohammed Hijab. Go home. Oh. Jesus Christ. Debate them if you got the balls. I appreciate the donations, bro. Yeah. Hardcore cousin marriages going on in that society. Yeah, like insane. Insane. It's like the hills have eyes, but it's just the society is just normally like that. It's not even you know what I mean? Have you guys seen The Hills Have Eyes? Bro, it's like those inbreds that survived like nuclear explosions. Except that's just normal. Like cousin marriages and shit like that. An insane amount. Jesus Christ. What is there to debate? What are you gonna sell me on Islam? Or you gonna convert me? Is it convert or die or what? Oh my god. These people are wild, bro. They come to the West here. We got like our Western values, our mentality, Christian leadership, our liberal nature. And I don't say that in a negative way, but we have an individualistic kind of make it on your own, think for yourself, question everything, question power, how our countries were founded. And it's like dude's coming in here with his rigid ass ideology, talking about convert or die. It's insane. Like, you understand. Do you know what's crazy about this? Through the good heart and will of Western nations, and you could say, I guess, white people in general in the countries that we're living, you could get nuked off of the map in any second. Like, what stops Israel from literally nuking you is probably us here in the Western culture. Israel would love to nuke you, glass your entire countries, wipe you off the map, and then just like go farm the land and create a little utopia there for themselves. Like, do you understand? Like, you only exist through the goodwill of people with Western liberal ideologies, which is suicidal empathy in its own nature, by inviting all these people that don't assimilate well with our society. Like, do you understand? If we wanted to, we could wipe you off of the map. You exist through the goodwill of this exact culture you're trying to destroy. What do you think what happens if you try to get whites to tribalize, or Western cultures to tribalize, to go imperial again, to literally, like, you're destabilizing society, making it more dangerous for the land you came from. You do not want people to chimp out in the West, dude. They have a big red button. They could pull it whenever they want. It's insane. People in the West are just trying to live in peace and shit, and fucking cut their dicks off and their tits off and like pretend they're different pronouns and shit. Like, that's what we're doing over here. Okay, now leave us alone. We got our own problems. got okay, let me read a few more chats. Hold on. Everything that tries to spread itself is not self-fulfilling. It's a virus. Thanks, Skinder, for the 5. NX. Thanks, brother. Why is it always feel like we're trading one for the other? Guy says he'll close the border and does, but he'll sell the infrastructure of the country. I don't know, bro. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyways. Would you accept the debate if offered? Okay, of course. Yeah. Why not? Of course. I would love to. Please. Go make that happen, bro. I'll just ask like 5 questions in a row, and then I'll get my answers, and the debate will literally end there. Anyways. All right, boys, it is past midnight here. Started a late stream. Was working on these mic issues. Hopefully it sounds good. I'll listen back to it. I hate hearing echo, and I hate hearing hissing in the background. Unless half the chat's getting banned. I don't know. It's auto-moderated. Yeah. Anyways, appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Guys, if you haven't signed up to the private community, we've got a call actually going on tomorrow. Join us. We'll be talking about, some male issues and some of the faceless YouTube channel stuff. I think guys are really looking for a way out. It works. My channel is up to, let me look at it actually. Tell you right now. It is Lifetime earnings 9 racks. So the channel is already made $9,000 since we started, which was very recently. Yeah. Highly worth it if you want to learn how to do that stuff. It's not slop. So I'll say this because some people thought it was slop from the comments of the other video. It's not useless slop, you guys. It's stuff. It's not edited to the crispiness of like Caspian Report or How Money Works or any of these other channels. But the quality of what is being covered is on that level. It's very informative. It's value-based content. It's not like entertainment slop. It's actual numbers. It's all researched. It's all done by AI. It's all cited, everything. There's citations for everything. People think these faceless YouTube channels are legitimate slop, like, brain dead content. No. All of this is good. Like, you would watch these videos and you'll go, holy shit, that was nice. That was informative. Like, more. Give me more. Yeah. Was it make an unhinged AI video or a voice to react to yourself and start a reaction chain free money? Yeah. It'd be doable. So. Someone said, I hate AI voices. I don't watch those videos. You would never know. Some of the AI voices are so fucking good, you would not know. Let me play one for you. Let's see. I'm going to generate one right now. We'll play one AI voice. I want to see. I'm curious.
Accounting firms are running the same playbook. About 85% of accounting professionals express excitement about AI. The ones using it save about 80 minutes daily. Firms report finalizing monthly statements about a week faster. Data entry, invoice processing, reconciliation. Some estimates suggest over 90% of that work could be automated. Companies aren't doing mass layoffs. They're just not backfilling positions. Creative professions thought to be uniquely human are experiencing unexpected displacement.
That sounds pretty good, dude. Could you tell that that's AI? Just saying. And that was one generation. Yeah. That was literally the first generation. It's not like I sat here and started listening to the voice to figure out if it's real or not. That's just one voice. There you go. Anyways, I got to call it, dude. Got to get some sleep. Or you'd be surprised. Most people can't tell that's AI, though. Yeah. Anyways, take care of yourselves, guys. Good evening, good morning, good night, depending where you are. We'll see you on the next one.